When people hear prehistoric times, they think it's scary, but not for me. Oh, and by the way, I'm Emily. To me, this place is actually super peaceful. Want to know why I love this life so much? Then come along with me. The sound of birds singing, the way dewdrops fall so gently, and that feeling of everything around me slowly waking up. All of it blends into a morning that feels unbelievably peaceful. Just those tiny little things alone are enough to make me feel truly happy. I love walking around my little garden. It's not big, and it's nothing fancy, but every time I step inside, I feel my heart get lighter, like all my worries just disappear in an instant. As I walk around, I usually stop to pull up some fresh grass so I can feed my 3 little dinos later. They're always hungry, and I raise them for their eggs, which are my main source of food every day. So whenever I see them running toward me, all excited and waiting, I can't help but feel a little soft spot for them. I don't know why, but there's something about picking each little handful of grass myself, feeding my dinos, and giving them a gentle pat. That makes me ridiculously happy. Those tiny moments make me feel like a real prehistoric farmer. After that, I carry my basket, check my sturdy wooden bow, and the stone arrows that I made myself from sharp pieces of stone. I pack everything neatly into the carrying basket on my back, and then I start walking into the forest. Every time I step into this prehistoric jungle, I get this really special feeling. Like everything around me has its own rhythm, and the moment I walk in, I just get swept along with it. The air is cool and fresh. The plants grow wild and thick, and there are always these tiny little sounds that make me stop and wonder what they are. Every spot I pass, there's some creature starting its morning routine, and somehow that makes me smile too. Like I'm slipping right into the heartbeat of the whole forest. As I walk, I keep an eye out for good mushroom patches. And every time I find a new cluster, I get excited like I just stumbled upon a little treasure. Sometimes my legs do get tired, but it's the kind of tired that makes me let out a long breath, then laugh softly. That gentle, comforting kind of tired you only feel when you're doing something you truly love. Today I even followed a set of footprints. Just one look and I could tell something had passed by, so I kept tracing it. After a while, my heart started beating faster, that mix of excitement and curiosity. Then I saw it, completely absorbed in eating the fallen fruit under a tree, not noticing anything around it. I steadied myself, drew my bow, took one deep breath, and whoosh! The arrow hit right away, and just like that, I had a good lunch for the day. That moment, I was so proud of myself. It was that I actually did it feeling that made me want to laugh out loud. But in the end, I just smiled softly, happy, but in a really peaceful way. When I got home, I started getting my lunch ready. I was honestly a little tired by then. My arms and legs felt a bit heavy, but just thinking about having a really good meal gave me a sudden boost of energy. I gathered some firewood and sparked the fire myself. Every time those 2 stones made the tiniest spark, I felt this strange little excitement. Like, okay, that's it, just a little more. And when the flame finally caught for real, I felt this wave of relief, like I'd just completed something important. While waiting for everything to cook, I just stood there watching, half tired, half anxious in a good way. And when the smell of the meat and mushrooms started drifting up, oh my gosh, my stomach practically growled on its own. At that moment, the only thought in my head was, hurry up and let me eat already. It's such a small moment, but it gave me this strangely comforting feeling. A mix of excitement, satisfaction, and a little pride, knowing I made a delicious lunch all by myself. After eating, I lay down for a moment, and before I knew it, I'd fallen asleep. The midday warmth, the quiet air, and a full stomach, they pulled me right into a soft, effortless nap. Outside, the whole forest seemed to slow down too. Little sounds faded one by one, leaving only that gentle sense of everything settling into its own kind of rest. And somehow, that calmness made my sleep deeper, lighter. So that's it. A quiet morning, gone in a breath. It's not always like this, but when it is, it makes me feel closer to this place. After my afternoon nap, I stepped outside, took a deep breath, and wandered around for a bit. Afternoons always have a different feel. Cooler, lighter, with this calm energy that settles in and wakes me right up. But then, out of nowhere, a bunch of animals dashed past me, like they were terrified of something. I froze, half confused, half worried, just thinking, what's going on? So I ran straight to the edge of the forest to see what was going on. And then I saw a flock of ancient birds suddenly burst out of the treetops, louder and more chaotic than ever. In the distance, the cliff was shaking. A huge section had collapsed, dust filling the evening air. My heart raced, not knowing what was happening. Curiosity mixed with a bit of worry pushed me to run toward it. Trees had fallen across the path, rocks and dirt scattered everywhere. And right in the middle of it all, I saw a large 3-horned dinosaur trapped under a massive rock. That moment, my chest tightened. Then I heard it, a tiny trembling cry. It was the baby dinosaur, hiding because it was scared. When it finally peeked out and pressed its head against its mother, its eyes were filled with tears, as if it already knew what had happened. It tried to push the rock with all the strength it had left, but nothing moved, and it just burst into tears. So I held it close, let it cry in my arms, and quietly carried it away from there. Back home, I set it down by the door so it could calm down. Then I brought out some food for it. It ate slowly, but kept nudging its head against my hand, like it was trying to hold on to something safe. I pulled it into my arms and carried it inside so it could rest for a while. At least, tonight it won't have to tremble alone. After that, I headed out to the storage shed and picked up my old stone hammer. If I was really going to keep the little one with me, I needed to build a safe place for it to stay. And somehow, just thinking about giving it a home made the tiredness in my body feel a little lighter. So I walked into the forest, chose a few sturdy trees, and cut them down piece by piece. Every time I lifted a heavy log onto my shoulder, I could feel the weight of the day catching up with me. But then I'd remember how it trembled in my arms earlier, and I'd keep going without a second thought. When I finally carried everything back to the clearing, I started building. Nothing fancy, nothing big, just a simple round pen, strong enough to keep it safe and warm enough so it wouldn't feel alone tonight. By the time I finished, the sun had dipped lower in the sky. I wiped the sweat off my forehead, took a deep breath, and walked back to the house to get it. It curled into me the moment I picked it up, like it still wasn't sure the world was safe anymore. So I held it a little tighter and carried it slowly to its new home. When I set it down, it hesitated for half a second and then suddenly started running in little circles, happy in a way that felt almost contagious, like it finally had a place that belonged to it. Watching that, I felt something loosen in my chest, and honestly, it made every single step today worth it. The sunset slipped behind the mountains, painting the sky in its last golden light. Ancient birds drifted back to their nests, and along my path, fireflies began to glow like tiny notes of a quiet evening song. High above, an owl perched silently, its round eyes following my steps. And as the forest sank into dusk, I felt something inside me soften, as if the only things left were nature's breath and my own. Back home, I picked up my torch again and the last piece of meat from lunch, then walked the familiar trail toward the little lake near my home. I sat on the old stone by the shore, watching the firelight shimmer on the water, finishing the last bite of my meal, letting the evening slow down like a gentle stream in the dark. When I looked up at the sky, the moon drifted through thin, pale clouds, and the stars scattered above me, sparkling as if whispering secrets to the night. And me? I was tired, of course, but it was the soft kind of tired, the kind that comes after a day full of surprises, changes, and little moments worth holding on to just a bit longer. And that's how my day ends, wrapped in the stillness of the face, beneath a moon so light it feels like a quiet good night.